Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Reverend Casey Taylor. I use they, them pronouns. Welcome to Spirit Uncuffed. And I am excited to announce that the person who came up with our name, Spirit Uncuffed, is our speaker today. She just happened to roll into a leadership council meeting one day, and we were talking about rebranding Sundays, and she just said, "What about spiritually uncuffed?" Mm-hmm. And everybody in the room was like, yes! Mm-hmm. And then here we are. Okay. So eventually got shortened to Spirit Uncuffed, but Lisa Benson is making her debut appearance here at the United Life Center for Spiritual Living speaking stage. So grateful, looking forward to her decoding unlikability talk. But first, because Melissa is our speaker, I'm going to be our music today. We have a, just like FYI, we got like a $75 budget per week for Spirit Uncuffed. And so that either goes to the speaker or goes to the musician. And when there's another speaker, I fill in for music. That's been how we do. So I'm likely introducing a new song to y'all. I don't think this song I haven't seen it performed at a United Life. It could have been performed years ago. I don't know. I haven't been to every single United Life Sunday morning experience for the last 70 years, so it could have happened. But I'm going to teach y'all a new song, and the words will be up behind me. It should be pretty easy for y'all to get the tune and sing right along, and this is what your drums are for. So if the tune is a challenge, drum along, be you, all right? All right, and this is like a movement song, so if you're feeling inspired to like get up around the room and move your drum, know that you are welcome to do so. All right, let's get into it. Let's go to the next one. See here's how it goes.
I got you.
Abby, grab a drum.
Nope.
David and Derek, grab a drum. Woke up this morning with my heart set on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Last time. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Last time. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Woo!
Yes. Thanks, y'all. All right, so new song. Put it in your repertoire, and we'll be pulling this out every once in a while. All right, so our monthly theme is loving the unlikable, and as I said, Lisa Benson will be speaking on that theme a little bit later. And next, we're going to go to our session flow. I'm going to get up and move around for that one. All right, so many of you were here for Tasha, who led our sound bath earlier at 12:30. We just sang "Woke Up." Next, we're going to affirm our vision and mission statement. I always say, if the vision and mission does not resonate with you in any kind of way, feel free not to affirm it and talk to us about your beliefs and feelings after the fact. Then we're going to get into our prayer and meditation portion, where Mary Lee will be providing an overview of the loving the unlikable theme for the month. Then I'm going to sing a Lauryn Hill song. Then Felisa's going to give her message. We'll do a little conscious giving, sing God is my source. I'll let y'all know what we got coming up over the course of the rest of the year, and then we will close out with the song I Release. All right, so let's speak our vision and mission together. We are a loving, inclusive community, joyfully expressing spirit. We honor, celebrate, and support each individual's awakening to their spiritual magnificence. We empower each other to create happy, healthy, abundant lives. All right. Mary Lee, I'm going to put this on the lecterns. That's how you like it?
Thank you. Great. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mary Lee Jones, your practitioner for today. And as Rick Casey pointed out, November's Centers for Spiritual Living theme is Loving the Unlikable. This month, we are exploring the concept of things we typically find unlikable, such as creepy crawlies, annoying people, and challenging situations we prefer to avoid. Our goal is to reframe these perceptions, transforming the unlikable into the lovable. Today, the first Sunday of November, November the 2nd, our weekly topic title is Decoding Unlikability. This week, we explore the concept of unlikability and differentiate between personal preferences and inherent worth. By choosing love over judgment, we can discover how to live in alignment with our values of oneness and unconditional love. Now I'd like to go to a reading from a book by Manisha Melwani, Detaching from Likes and Dislikes for Your Spiritual Growth. Attachments come in pairs of opposites, likes and dislikes. A liking for something usually comes along with a dislike for the opposite of what you like. For example, you like soft, soothing music and dislike hard rock and heavy metal. Whenever you hear hard rock on the radio, you immediately change the station. Your dislike of hard rock comes with a liking for the opposite, which in this case is the soothing music. Now the problem is that we don't just do this with one thing, but with everything we encounter. When was the last time you eagerly reached into your fridge to look for something to eat that you didn't like? Or couldn't wait to speak to the person whom you know is a bore? If you had a choice between watching an episode of your favorite TV show and the Weather Channel, what would you rather watch? Dependency is the problem. This dashing towards what we like and recoiling from what we dislike is how we find happiness from the world. It is our all-consuming preoccupation. You may still be wondering, so what if we have likes and dislikes? If they make us happy, what's wrong with having them? You see, the challenge is not simply the like and dislikes, the dependency that comes along with it. Our happiness depends on having things a certain way. This dependency creates desires, cravings, and agitations in the mind that take away our peace. We can't stay still until we move away from what we don't want and get what we want. The greater the intensity of the like and dislike, the greater will be our disappointment and sorrow in the absence of the thing we like, or anger and agitation in the presence of something that we dislike. Ernest Holmes stated, "We believe in the unity of all life and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. From this understanding, there is no such thing as unlikable. Instead, our individualized expression experiences personal preferences. Now is the time to shift from viewing the world through our personal lens and instead recognize that all life contributes positively to our planet and the wholeness of spirit. There is no hierarchy of life. Humanity is simply another aspect of spirit expressing itself. Nothing in God could possibly be unlikable. And when we embrace this understanding, we can live and act from a place of unconditional love for all, thereby creating a world that works for all. Often, we assume that if we dislike something, it must be inherently unlikable. However, this is not the case. As the proverb says, one person's trash is another person's treasure. From this perspective, nothing is truly unlikable. Rather, every being has personal preferences that result in likes and dislikes. While there is nothing wrong with having preferences or disliking certain things, the challenge arises when we use our personal dislikes to justify eradication or harm. By working to notice and then distance ourselves from our personal preferences, we discover that many people like and even love the things we don't. Detaching from our preferences opens us to a more inclusive and accepting world, strengthening our relationships with others and appreciating that personal likes and dislikes contribute to the diversity and richness of our planet. Perhaps you find it challenging to shift directly from dislike to love. Instead, consider enhancing your awareness, understanding, and knowledge of the things you dislike. Through these efforts, you consciously cultivate respect for something you may never personally like, while acknowledging and honoring the significance and necessity of their existence. In our belief of oneness, all beings are inherently worthy of the life they are living. This principle affirms that your personal dislikes do not diminish their right to exist. Next time you feel inclined to swat a mosquito or spray for weeds, consider the lives you are choosing to end, reflect on your motivations, and explore alternative approaches that embody and honor unconditional love, an inherent value in Science of Mind's teachings. This recognition of our interconnectedness invites us to extend unconditional love to those we may find difficult or annoying. By taking time to acknowledge the unique contributions and perspectives of everyone, we can deepen our understanding of oneness by removing our personal dislikes from the act of unconditional love toward all beings. This process encourages us to cultivate empathy, compassion, and respect, fostering harmony and inclusivity in our interactions and communities. When encountering something you dislike, do you instinctively try to eliminate or avoid it rather than seeking to understand and respect it? Consider whether your actions align with your Science of Mind values. Oneness, the inherent worthiness of all life, wholeness, and the individualized expression of spirit manifested through each being. If not, reflect on what changes you could make in your personal life to move closer to alignment with your values, beliefs, and understanding of God, Spirit, and Source. And before I go into prayer, I want to close with a quote from Mark Nepo's The Book of Awakening. When feeling stuck or disconnected from the miracle of life, try to listen, feel, and just take in. Try to let the energies of life stir their counterparts within you. In order to be whole, suspend your criticism. For life is not a matter of taste, but of awakening. Not a matter of finding things pleasing or disturbing, but of finding things completing. Not a matter of liking or disliking, but of opening the geography of one's soul. God is the absolute reality and only intelligence. All there is, the one infinite reality. God is wholeness, peace, joy, love, perfection, worthiness, and unlimited expression. As my mind is an individualization of God mind, I accept the idea that I am now thinking with the mind of God. The Spirit of God moves through me as my spirit of self-awareness and also moves through everyone present here and online. God is right where everyone is as the individualized expression of the God essence that they are. With the knowledge that everyone present here and online is one with God, surrounded by acceptance of the existence of all the gifts, joys, and blessings of the universe, I now speak my word. I realize and completely accept that the creative law of spirit is moving through everyone present here and online to awaken their understanding of their connection to the whole of life and to the suspension of criticism. This is their spiritual truth. It's the awakening to the understanding of the connection to the whole of life and to the suspension of criticism as being theirs right now. And I give thanks for knowing this truth for everyone here and online, and for the awakening to the understanding of their connection to the whole of life and to the suspension of criticism that is flowing into their experience right now. And I release this prayer with joy and gratitude into the law that always says yes and is now done as I have declared and deeply felt. And so it is.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate you stepping all over around the chords. I didn't set you up for success at all, so
Yes, you did.
I'm glad you worked it out.
Trip over them.
Yes, I am glad you survived. All right, so this song, I decided that we were gonna choose this as our special music long before I knew what was going to go on in this country today. So it works out pretty well. The divine timing of it all definitely lines up super well. To give some context, I intentionally chose this song because Lauryn Hill was like, me, Belisa is our speaker today. Belisa and I met when we were 13 years old. And Lauryn Hill's album, The Miseducation
Of Lauryn Hill.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I did this whole Miseducation of the Negro thing that and I didn't even know that was a book at the time. So yeah, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Thank you, Belisa. Was this album that really we just kept going back to, and I feel like we both found a lot of inspiration from her. And so this song, this concept of loving the unlikability, this song to me resonates perfectly well. So it's the first song that came to my mind. And the reason I feel like I should let y'all know that why I had Belisa in mind to speak today. Well, actually it wasn't today. She picked the date that she wanted. I sent her what all the themes were and asked her which one resonated with her most. And this one is the one that she chose. But the reason for why I invited her to speak here, specifically as somebody who is not a science of mind person, she's known me since I found the Science of Mind, and she's been a prayer partner for me. In fact, she's still on my calendar as a prayer partner, and our whole concept of being a space wherever all faiths and ways of being are welcome, I saw this as an opportunity for us to be an expression of that. And since we were children, Felisa had these goals around being a speaker. I used to go to her speech performances, and she was winning those awards in speech class. You remember the
Yes.
speech
Yes.
things that we went to? That
Yes.
she was traveling across the state, and I get on
Yes.
the school bus with her, and we'd go
Yes.
some random place in Illinois for her
Yes.
speech competition, and she was winning them left and right. So I'm grateful that she's at a place where she is feeling ready to, she's gotten the certifications that she's looking for and feeling ready to put her voice out in the world. And this felt like a nice invitation to speak on a topic that resonates with her most and invite her to share that with you all here. But first, I am going to sing this Lauryn Hill song that I promised y'all I was going to sing. All right, let me get into it. Y'all know this one? Please feel free to sing along if you feel so inspired. I'm not mad at it. Everything is everything. What is meant to be will be.
Will be.
After winter must come spring. Change comes eventually.
Change comes eventually.
I wrote these words for everyone who struggles in their youth, who won't accept deception instead of what is true. It seems we lose the game before we even start to play. Who made these rules? We're so confused, easily led astray. Let me tell you that everything is everything. Everything is everything.
Everything is everything.
After winter,
After winter
must come spring.
must come spring.
Everything is everything.
Everything is everything.
Our philosophy, possibly, speak tongues, beat drum, Christian, and street Baptist, rap this fine linen from the beginning. My practice extending the course, the atlas, I begat this. Living in the ghetto in the dirty mattress, you can't match this. Rapper / actress, more powerful than two Cleopatras. Bomb graffiti on the tomb of Nefertiti. MCs ain't ready to take it to the Serengeti. My rhymes is heavy, like the mind of Sister Betty. L Boogie's bars with stars and constellations. They came down for a little conversation, adjacent to the king. Fear no human being. Roll the cherubims to not so Coliseum. Now hear this mixture while hip hop leaks scripture. Develop a negative into a positive picture. Everything is everything. What is meant to be will be.
To me.
After winter,
After winter
must come spring.
must come spring.
Everything is everything.
Everything is everything.
Sometimes it seems we'll touch that dream. Things come slow and not at all. And the ones on top won't make it stop. So convinced that they might fall. Let's love ourselves and we can fail to make a better situation. Tomorrow, our seeds will grow. All we need is dedication. Let me tell you that everything is everything. Everything is everything. After winter, must come spring. Everything is everything. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. All right, let me invite. Chord drop. Let me invite. 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 Let
we doing this morning?
Good.
Awesome. So, one thing I want to say is thank you for having me. Period.
Of course.
This right now has been absolutely amazing. I'm going to drop a tear. Casey has been my best friend since 8th grade. And watching her grow and walking with her in growth and us growing together has been absolutely dynamite. If you could imagine Casey in 8th grade at the age of 13 saying in 8th grade, I'm like, I am a C, I am a CH, I am a CHRSCIAN, and I am CHRSC, my HEAIT, and I am LIVETERNALY. And she's like, and why do you say hear that? Is it because of what your parents told you? And I'm like, in 8th grade, I'm like, I never thought about that. I mean, yeah, they told me that. But yeah, that's why I believe that. And she's like, I want you to sit with that. In 8th grade, though. This is the same girl. Excuse me. I say this is just my best friend. I love her. Okay, so let me collect myself and speak in accordance to the word of who we are. Because we're in a place of unity, we're in a place of inclusivity, and my best friend goes by they, them. And so, in ownership of that, I am still a Christian, and I still support my best friend and who she is and how she walks. So I just want to pause there and make sure I go forward in accuracy, okay? So let's go back to the story. So imagine that same girl. We had lunch. In the lunchroom, I've always been this talkative person. And I'm just talking to everybody, and I come to her desk or her table, and when I sit with her, I actually don't even say anything. I'm just like, I pull something out of her food because I'm that person. I stop by somebody's place and take a fry. And so I just grab half of her sandwich because I can, and I take a quick bite, and it's like onions and
Olives and cream cheese.
there you go. In 8th grade, I'm like, what? What are you eating? And she's like, my food. I never again tried to get her. I just did. So I'm just so thankful to still be that title, best friend. And then knowing her and knowing who she is in the spirit. I've known her and who God is in her in a way that we've grown together. And so to learn that people can love God and they can choose how they love God. They can choose and understand that God loves them overwhelmingly. There's nothing that you can do to make God love you less. There is nothing you can do. Whether you see him as Buddha or you see him as in the Islam lifestyle, if you see him as meditation, who am I to tell you you're wrong because you say that you do it this way? So that's something that I honestly was able to grow through and I own up to with sitting in the seat with my best friend. Because we can say we agree to disagree on things. It doesn't mean I agree on every level of how she decides to worship, but the way I worship my king is the way I worship. And who am I to say she's wrong to love God the way God has taught her to love? Long as it's love. We're supposed to love one another. So today, my speech is decoding unlikability. And in decoding unlikability, it involves a spiritual walk, which for me began with let me just say the whole little paragraph I have. I went from being a patient in a mental hospital to a professional serving others who struggle like I once did. My diagnosis, it didn't destroy me, it defined my mission. Now I use both my education and my scars to help others find stability, self-worth, and purpose. Breaking the stigma, why mental illness and leadership can coexist as we decode unlikability. So that's what I'm speaking on, decoding unlikability and looking at the mental health world and the mental health that I've honestly consistently overcome, the mental health challenges of my own existence. It begins for me with spirit, and it started in 8th grade. Actually, Casey and her mother, their mother, were the first people that said, Valisa is way too loud and like she's doing too much. You don't feel like she's doing too much? And they didn't say it to me to treat me bad. They honestly spoke up amongst themselves, like, I noticed she's very loud, she's very active, and the diagnosis at that time that I was living with was ADHD. And the life situation that I was having at the time, I was living with my aunt, because I had come through an untraditional foster care situation. They didn't know that story. They just saw that I was more loud, and I was very, very active. And it wasn't that others didn't like me, but sometimes I would be more or less presenting with symptoms that were manic. But they didn't say that at that time. I understand it because my degree is in psychology. I decided to go to school for this. I said, if I'm gonna have these life situations and people bring up issues and challenges that they're having with me, I'd rather understand who I am, what I am, what's going on with me, and work on it. So part of that working on it included me graduating and receiving a degree in psychology. So when we take unlikability and decode it, I really represent a code of life that has been stigmatized. Marginalized people, individuals who don't have a voice, people who have been in the hospital just like I, people who are going to the hospital periodically, year after year, month after month, who come back to society required to live under our requirements, the requirements of the world, because the government said, you can't be unhoused. You need to have an ID. You're required to pay rent. Do you know that some people choose to be homeless? They choose that because that's what they chose. So who are we to require that of them? So that's just another thing I learned through the degree program that I've been able to pass through to gain understanding of people, spirit, unlikability, and the stigma of mental health that I've had to fight through. So I bring up the question to everyone, the ones online, the ones who are here. When you see someone that's unhoused, when you have a family member that takes medicine, when you have situations with these type of individuals, do you ever ask, what happened? Think about that. What happened? Because in sharing unlikability and decoding it, for me, it begins with my story. So, I was a young child, and I was taken from my mom at 5. And being taken from her was a little tragic. And so, after leaving and having to stay with a foster grandmother, I believed that she would come back for me and never did. After year after year after year of abuse with my foster grandmother, I began to believe what she said about me. She said my mother would never love me. She said no one will ever love you. She said she would never love me. She said I would never be anything. She said I would never make it to anything. but that she was required to give me life skills, and that she was gonna give me that. And then she'd usually just like hit me in the head with a pan or something. And that's what happened in foster care. Now, I am honestly grateful today. This is what we talk about. Deep, undecoding, unlikability. So I didn't like living with that woman. I did not like what I had to go through there. I did not like that abuse, those words. But I don't know if y'all know who y'all talking to.
She's preaching now.
Today, you guys are talking to somebody who mentally has this strength that decides, I'm gonna make a decision, I'm gonna move forward, nothing is gonna stop me. Everything she said about me is not true. I am greater than what she said. I'm gonna be somebody. Like she said she was gonna train me to do, even though she spoke negatively. Now, in those moments, tears fell. And I'm not saying that if you are being abused today, that it's okay. And I'm not saying that the abuser should be applauded. But I am telling you that I am anointed and oil flows from me because of the beating I had in my brain of what I couldn't do. Because when she said, you can't do it, I said, watch me.
Right. In the wine press. In the wine press.
I was so thankful when my grandmother kicked me out. My foster grandmother kicked me out at the age of 13. When she kicked me out, she took me to my Aunt Wanda, actually picked me up for a weekend stay. She was just like, you're gonna let Valisa have a weekend and she's gonna have fun. It's gonna be, I'll bring her back, all the things. My foster grandmother, her name is Mrs. Helms, she said, you take that bitch out of my house, I will tell you now, you don't bring it back.
Good. Good.
The 3 days I stayed with my aunt, she called my grandma and said, hey, I'm bringing Valisa back. My grandma said, you little dirty hoe, I told you you're not gonna bring her back to my house. I was listening to that around like, but I didn't understand the real issue, you know? I didn't understand that my aunt didn't have the money to raise me. She didn't have the plan. She had her own daughter. She loved me, but I didn't understand. So also in that conversation of her supposed to be bringing me back, I felt like, wow, as I'm hearing my aunt say what I just said, I don't have the money. I have a daughter. She's not my responsibility. I'm listening like, I thought my aunt loved me. Decoding unlikability. Why does she not like me? Why does she not want me? Why doesn't she love me? Why does my mom not love me? Why has my mother not came back? Why won't my uncle come for me? Why am I here? Am I supposed to be living here? Decoding unlikability. So the voices that are in your head and the things that tell you you can't, and the people that spoke against you, I'm here to remind you that you are somebody. I'm here to remind you that your very thoughts that you're having about your certain situation because abuse has been the forefront, it's there right now, but you're stronger today and you're gonna be somebody greater. You are moving forward and there is something for you. And that's what I had to learn in that moment that I heard my auntie say that. Now she loves me very much. And she ended up actually having to work it out. What did work it out mean? It meant faith. For her, every situation we have that happened to us happened with appointment, purpose. That's it. Like, you might not know why this hurts so bad. You might not know why you gotta spend money on this. You might not know why those kids that were in foster care, they were your brother or your sister's kids, now you're keeping them. And you really don't have the money, but God knows. So that moment, my aunt had to she was required to gain faith. So when you don't have the belief that you can do it. On both sides. On my aunt's side, she didn't believe she could do it. That's why she said those things. And on my side, I didn't believe I could do it. Again, knowing that this person and this person, they said, and they said, and this is, and so why? And I honestly wanted to commit suicide. So in 8th grade, I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna find out how to kill myself because I don't need to be here. Who wants me here? Nobody does. But God called us to purpose living. And again, every situation that I went through happened on purpose so that I could come right now and talk to somebody right now who is thinking of suicide. Did you know that Oklahoma has the #1 in suicide for kids at the age of 11 to 24? Did you know that in the Black community that's now one of the highest numbers as well for teens in Oklahoma? I know that why? Because I went to school. I graduated and learned about what I had been fighting through. Why is that happening? The reason the suicide rate right now is so high is because so many people aren't feeling this inclusivity, this love chapter, this moment, how community in this room supports one another. Everyone's not getting this, but we got it right here. So I do welcome you. I welcome you because that's what this is about. It's about the voice. Your voice matters, your story matters, and your testimony will give you breakthrough. No matter what it looks like. You have support systems, but sometimes your natural supports, like the people at 7-Eleven, natural support. The people at Walmart, natural support. When you go to Starbucks every day, natural support. The library, natural support. I know that because I went to school for it. Why do I bring that up? Because when you are stigmatized and you live as a marginalized people, you don't realize your resources. The people that you talk to every day, you're like, nobody loves me, but wait, you spend 15 minutes talking to a person behind the counter getting a coffee. They actually care about you. That's a natural resource. You can put them on your plan list of somebody to call if you had a breakdown or something happened. You can actually put the church or the store or the library person that's there. Natural resources. Know your natural resources when you have a mental health crisis. And so I bring that up again because as I move forward in life and I share my story, I'm reminded every day that the mental health crisis that I've had, they only built me up. They only allowed me to take and decode unlikability. The very things that I did not like about myself are actually the very things that make me an individual, make me great, make me worth it, makes my story, makes me be able to tell you, when you're in school and somebody tries to talk about you, guess what? You're gonna overcome it. That's just words. When you're at work and somebody tries to speak to you and try to tell you you're not doing your job or try to come against you with a negative comment, I'm able to tell you, you know what? You get up from that chair and you put your head up. You go get that cup of coffee and you walk it out. I'm able to say that with faith. And I'm able to motivate. Why? For me, there was so much negativity early. And I had to fight it early. So every fight is for a reason. And those fights a lot of times start in our head. They start there. So I wanted to share, how much time do I have?
We don't put people on timers, so I cannot tell you.
Are you serious?
That's not.
Whoa.
2 more hours. 2 more hours.
Whoa, okay. So, with that being said, so there's a verse that I had to really look at this morning. And it's Joshua 1:9 from the Bible. And it says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord is with you wherever you go. So I bring that verse because on my way here, fear, anxiety, intimidation, thoughts that I just don't know. There's just that try to come against me. And so when we affirm with faith that we can move forward, it helps. And that's what I did. So I really want to make sure that I shared that and the very verses that moved me in my testimony. So I left off with me living at my aunt's house, and that's actually where Casey comes in the story. Because when I moved to my aunt's house, again, she wasn't ready for me. So we stayed in a 1-bedroom apartment with her and her daughter and myself. And I had started going to school in September. And when I started going to school there, I ended up meeting Casey because she was like the 5th Black person in the school. And we went to a school that had like, I guess maybe 250, mostly white and Hispanic, a few Hispanic, right? And so I believed that if we were Black, we need to know each other, and that was my cousin. So I was like, what's your name? And she was like, yeah, no. I don't have to know you just because you're Black. She's like, no. And I was like, but we need to know each other because like there's only 5 of us in this building. And so, long story short, she let me know that like, I don't know you, and yeah, right? Remember, I'm working through mental illness even when I was younger, but not all the right diagnosis. So I was forefront. I said, you're gonna be my friend. And she would tell me, no, I'm not. She would really walk off. And I would work on her. I worked on her for real, for like weeks, until she just decided to come to my birthday party, which I invited her to. I said, because I was like, she's gonna be my friend. And so I was like, I have a birthday party, and my birthday is October 18th. Can you come? And she just was like, okay. She's just trying to get me out of this. So it was funny because she actually showed up. I didn't know she was gonna come, but she did. When she did come to my birthday party, she brought purple jelly beans.
Oh.
In a purple bag with a purple bow tie that was amazing, like a big, beautiful purple bow tie. And I really want to say there was purple balloons.
Yep.
Because I personally actually had never had a birthday party. My aunt gave it to me, a birthday party. And I had never had people come to a birthday party. And when she gave me that gift, I had never had a gift. That beautiful. So when I like tripped out, she gave it to me. She came to my house with this. Purple's my favorite color. So when she gave it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I loved it and loved it. I mean, I didn't even eat the jelly beans for the longest time. The bag I kept forever. Like, I was just so in it to win it when she gave me that. And I was convinced that I was here for a reason. So I bring that piece up because you never know what you're doing to somebody in their life. You never know what you mean to them. That little thing you do. Listen, jelly beans was nothing. Like, I promise you, she was like, this is nothing. Like, why is she tripping about these jelly beans? She even brought it up to me later, like, why are you tripping about these jelly beans? But, do y'all hear I never had a birthday party? My foster grandmother never gave me anything. And I had never had gifts for anything. So, that movement, her giving that to me and us really connecting and really being an anointed connection at childhood changed my whole life. And so from there, we go to high school, and I'm in high school all the way till sophomore year when my grandmother kicked me out. Excuse me, my grandma had already kicked me out. I was living with my aunt, and my aunt kicked me out. So she kicked me out because I was a teenager. I was just doing what teenagers do, which is like sneaking out at 8 o'clock because I was supposed to be home, talking to boys, putting my lip gloss, you know, things you shouldn't be doing. Because she was like, that's not my teenager. You are not my child. If I tell you to be in the house at 8:30, that's what time you be in. I was like, but Lavisa's outside. And Lavisa was like 7, and she's out at 8:30. Why I gotta be in? So I was frustrated. She was just making boundaries. And she was keeping me safe. Because boundaries keep you safe. And children need boundaries. Teenagers need boundaries. But I wasn't having that. So she was like, you need to go to an audit home, or I don't know, like I'm gonna do something. So she called my uncle, they had a discussion, and my uncle said, you can't put her in an audit home. And my uncle really told her, we can't do that. Like, we were in foster care, me, you, your mom, our brothers and sisters, it was 4 of them, they were in foster care first. And then when I was taken from my mom, then all her children were in foster care. So I'm a 2nd generation foster care. So my family made it foster care and adoption, right? So this is my uncle talking to my aunt. My aunt's like, well, I'm not keeping her. At the time, my uncle was like a football player. He couldn't take me. So he was just like, why don't we just send her to her mom? And I didn't really know my mom like that. I mean, I seen her, yes, she came to visit, but she was like my aunt. You know? She wasn't like my mom, she was my aunt. Like, so they sent me. They sent me to my mom's house at 16. Sophomore year, going into junior. And living with my mom, the first time I got there, I learned that she was an addict. I learned that she had mental health issues. I learned that she was an alcoholic. But the biggest thing that I learned was the fact that she was an addict. Because I really didn't know. Like, I knew people told me, you know, your mom, you know, she's always, you know, she just say stuff. And I would just be like, okay, and I'm 16 now, she never really showed up. My aunt took me to see her. I visited her several times, but I didn't know her. And I didn't live with her, and no one wanted me with her. All these years, and now I'm 16, they gonna send me? How they gonna send me somewhere they didn't want me to go for 16 years? Like, what are we doing? So I'm in my mom's house though. She lives in Minnesota. So they put me on a bus at 16 because I was being an irate, silly teenager. I ain't mad, I understand. And they sent me off to go live with my mother and said, you know, you could bear it on your own. You're 16. That's what they were thinking. So now I understand that when you're 16 and you live in a foster care, or you live with somebody that you don't know, or you live with an aunt, at the age of 16, people start having conversations with you like you're an adult. Like, you have a job, they're talking about you buying your own things, you know, they're educating you on apartments, and you're just looking like, I'm still 16, ain't nobody else thinking about this. Why are you talking to me about it? And you don't really get it until you get it. So that also is a part of my heart. That's like my heart, to help youth who age out of foster care to get the things they need and to understand how to live. Because those life skills that nobody teaches in foster care, and you have to learn so fast, there's nothing like having parents. There's nothing like it. But if you don't, I have learned that God will show you. He will show up and He will bring you through. So when He brought me through to actually live with my mother at 16, she wasn't ready for me. She wasn't ready. So she tried to get clean on her own. And so I went to work because I had a part-time job after school at 16, right? And I came home at night because I was working at the Metrodome in Minnesota, Minneapolis. And when I came home, my mom was on the floor. It was like 11 o'clock at night. She was on the floor, not moving. Like, she was moving, but she wasn't like, you know, she wasn't like just about to get up. No, she was like on the floor moaning. And I'm like, Mom, are you okay? And she's just like, baby, I need you. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? I'm thinking like, you know, is she having a stroke? Like, what do I need to get her, you know? And she, you want me to get some water? She's like, no, take this $20. Go down the block. Go to this tree. There's gonna be a guy standing there. Give me a bag. She's like, not looking okay. So again, I'm 16, and I'm like, get you a bag? And she's like, yes. And she's crying. And I'm just like, honestly, when I lived with my aunt, I was in the suburbs. Like, she was my aunt. I lived in the suburbs. Before I lived there, I lived with my foster grandmother, who had me like covered. Like, I had my needs met. I might have been mentally abused, but I had food, shelter, water. I was never in a dangerous situation. And I knew how to respect adults. You do what they say, period. So this was a different thing for me. Like, what? Gets you a bag, so she gives me $20. I walk out the door. I go down the street. Go up the area to where she tells me. I go to the tree. There's a guy. I tell the guy what she said, which I didn't understand at all. But I was like, yeah, can I get whatever she said? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, you got it? And I was like, I didn't know what he was talking about. I had never seen a drug deal in my life. Didn't. My grandmother didn't. My foster grandma, she let me watch TV. I didn't know nothing about none of that, like nothing. So he left. I stood there. It's now 11:30 at night. Just so you know, I was really cute. I was so pretty. I don't know. But I was really pretty. Like, I had long hair, tight skin, like I was cute. So I'm just saying, it was scary being out there being that cute. You can't be cute at that time. Like, what? So I'm out there, and 30 minutes pass. An hour passes. Like an hour 15. I'm like, that guy never came back. But I didn't want to not listen to my mom. Like, I wanted to get what she needed. And I didn't have it, and I definitely didn't have the money. I did what she told me. I went back to the house. I came back to the house. She was still on the floor. I said, Mom. And I was scared. Mom. I gave the guy the money, and he left. She looked at me. She was just crying. She was just crying. And she was just crying. And then she went mute without no sound. And she's like, baby, I'm sorry. The next day, I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I got to move. Like, this is not it. Like, I'm gonna have to go. Like, this is not gonna be a good thing. Like, I am not doing this. So I got another job because I was working as a manager at the Metrodome because I became manager. First, I was just like a little, cashier person, and then I became a manager. And then I got another job at the YMCA. And so I started working there. And then after the YMCA, I was like, okay, the YMCA, I was trying to figure out my time, managing my time. And so managing my time looked like I went to school. I left school roughly, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I had to be at work at like 4-ish, 4:30. And I would do the Metrodome job. The great thing about that was I could sign up whenever I wanted to. That's a Metrodome. Because that's, I don't know if you're familiar with that stadium. It's where football players play. And so whenever you work there, you can like sign up for your job to work behind, the stand. I worked at the Edie stand, ice cream stand. And so it was cool because I could sign in whenever I wanted to. So I would go there about 4:35. And then if I worked on a certain day, I worked 4 to 10. And I would just make sure that when I worked there, when I got my second job, which was the YMCA, because y'all, I don't know if y'all realize it, I realized I needed to go. Like, I couldn't live there, right? I needed to figure something out. So I was on this low, like, I need to figure something out. And so when I got the second job, it was the YMCA. And they were requiring us to be there at 4 a.m. on the weekend. And it was like 4 a.m. to 12, because I was a lifeguard. And so 4 a.m. to 12, I would do that on the weekends. Then I would do the Metrodome during the week, like 3 or 4 times a week when I wanted to. And then I got a third job. So I had 3 jobs. And people were like, oh my God, you got 3 jobs. 16, and then I turned 17. I was like, yes. But let's not go to 17 yet. We're still 16. So I get that third job. I want y'all to know time management and stress is a very real thing. Because when you overwork yourself and you pull so much from yourself and you're not giving back to yourself, and you don't rest, or you don't meditate, or you don't take that be still moment, you could really lose yourself. Now, I didn't know that at 16. I was like, I need to get another job, and I need to work, like, we're gonna do this. So that third job that I took was at Chi-Chi's at a restaurant. And I would work there on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So that means I was working at 4 a.m. on a Saturday and Sunday till 12. And then I was working nights from 4:30 to 5 p.m. that same Saturday and Sunday to 10 or 11, right? On Saturday and Sundays. And that's what I was doing, bringing in the money, right? So I thought that was work. Unfortunately, that must have really been a lot of pressure. Because in that same year of me working all those jobs, I actually had a hospitalization. And it was my first hospitalization. So when I say that, people say, what do you mean? This is the very reason why we're here talking about decoded unlikability. Because although I had to make ends meet, and I didn't like what that felt like, and the job was so much, I still needed to really take care of my mental health, but I didn't recognize that. I wasn't honoring my peace. I wasn't honoring my life. And I definitely wasn't looking to God to do it for me. I was looking for me to do it for me. So to know that I ended up hospitalized and part of this transition of me becoming an adult. For so long, I didn't even know I had that hospitalization. Like, I actually found out about me being hospitalized at between the 17 and 18 year age, much later in life. Like, a close friend of mine told me that. I was like, I want to go visit you in the hospital. And so I was like, what you mean? I was in the hospital there? That's how detached from myself I was. So, if I don't say anything else, I want everyone here to understand that to decode unlikability, it's so required to recognize what's in you and to be able to sit with it, understand it, be willing to learn yourself, and appreciate all of it while you go forward. Because our God will cover you in every area. So yeah, that's my talk.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Alright, is this your coffee?
Yes.
There, have your coffee. Thank you. All right. So Lisa talked about this concept of how when her aunt didn't know how she was going to feed another child in her home, she led with this lesson of faith. And as we move into the conscious giving portion of Spirit Uncuffed, Lisa and I are both people who believe in conscious giving, that we tie the percentage of our income to places where we feel spiritually fed, and for that, it's me here. And so I'm going to invite y'all to get your drums out and sing this song along with me through our conscious giving practice. Instead of our normal affirmation, what we're going to do is sing this song together. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I do want my drum. Thank you for being my music assistant. Thank you, Tasha. So if you don't have any actual currency on you but would like to contribute to United Life, there is a QR code right behind me. And there is also a phone number. So if you want to text that phone number, whatever amount that you are feeling called to give, you set up that one time and then it remembers you forever. Remembers your phone number forever. So
Forever?
I'm gonna let you get your drums out and sing this song along with me. It's a very easy thing. I'm gonna change the word God to other things as we go along. So I'm gonna invite you to do this. And this is something I think we have done here before, right? I'm looking at my music people over here. Is this the song God is Our Source from Lil Cheryl? Oh yeah, maybe. We will see. We will see if this is familiar, but maybe I'm introducing y'all to the first time. So let's get into it. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I have thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need. Thanks, y'all. All right, let's go on to the next one. We're going to slide through announcements real quick. I'll let y'all know my own experience of loving the unlikable is recognizing that I might be coming down with something. So keep that in mind. I made some vegan chili, and I put my love in some prayer, and I wash my hands a lot of times, and put some good seasoning in there, but there is no garlic, gluten-free, vegan, and I brought some seasoning to go along with it, Orton seasoning that I love and just happens to be in our building. So know that it's in your own risk, that either you get that love prayer energy, or that what loving the unlikable means for you is that your body tells you to be quiet and sit down and meditate and drink tea and eat soup, which is what I was doing all day yesterday to make sure that this doesn't actually turn into a thing. And that's what I'm gonna do right after our potluck. So our potluck is happening right after this. Feel free to, whether you have brought something to share or whether you haven't, you are welcome to join us. Making Peace with Your Inner Talker starts this Tuesday at 8 p.m. That QR code is where you can register, and this will be the first time, this is the first meeting will happen on Tuesday. So if this is a program that you're interested in, there's more information about it on that QR code, and that's the situation. So we're starting this Tuesday at 8. What's Up and Why? My cousin and I do this weekly show. We've been using Mariah's album Here For It All as inspiration, and we've been going backwards on the track list. So this week our theme will be My Love. That's what we're going to be talking about. And can't actually, no, that was last week. We did My Love. Next week is going to be I Won't Allow It. That's what we're doing on Thursday. So Canon Church is here in the room. We are collaborating on an event called Cannabis and Spiritual Practice, where we'll be having a roundtable conversation right here in the event center on November 18th, I think Tuesday, November 18th at 7 p.m. And spiritual networking, where it's not November 4th, it's like the 24th. I missed a letter there, which will also be happening in this room. I didn't put the QR codes for those. They will be on our website, on our unitedlife.org events page, but we don't have any like designated space. We're not doing any tickets for that. Those events are through Global Entrepreneurship, which is happening, Global Entrepreneurship Week, which is happening globally. And the state of Oklahoma, the way that it's being honored is this space, that Project 3810 is home of Global Entrepreneurship Week. So we are hosting those two events, co-hosting those two events, possibly 3. Stay tuned for details on that next one. Elf Fest, the holiday market, is coming up on Saturday, December 13th. This is the first time I've ever told y'all about Elf Fest. Fun fact, it really just started as a joke. I was on the phone with my mom, and she was like, how did Witch Fest go? And she was like, are you going to do Elf Fest for December? And I was like, you know what? The Witch Fest people were like, let's do this again. The vendors, as they were leaving, were like, let's do this again. How do I get on your vendor list? And we are having a drag show on December 13th, right after this. So I was like, let's do Elf Fest right beforehand from 4 to 7 in this space. So some of the Witch Fest crew said yes to it and is on the organizing planning team, and there is that QR code. It's how you get tickets. There's no info on that site. It's just how to get tickets, and tickets are $5 that get you into the market and also into the drag show happening at 8 p.m. So the Nightmare Before Christmas drag show going on Saturday, December 13th, right after. We're going to have an hour for the vendors to clear out and reset the room and get the show going. And again, tickets for that same thing goes to Elf Fest and the drag show. So it's a one price, $5, gets you into all things. And now I'm going to invite us to sing a song together before we go off for our potluck. Y'all are nodding because you know this one. Some of you know this one. Many of you know this one. And for those of you who don't, you'll get it just like the other ones.
Want to hear it? Here it go.
Yeah, here it go. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the strength of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go away. And this is what you have to say. I release and I'm uncuffed. I let the Spirit from my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, I am uncuffed. I let the Spirit from my life. And my heart is open wide.
There we go.
Yes, I'm only here for God.
There we go.
No more struggle, no more strife.
I'm trying to find it.
By faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Last time. I release. I am uncuffed. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. All right, I did the I release, I am uncuffed. That's what we did. All right, so
So
thank you all so much for being here. Feel free to leave a prayer request. We have a prayer request in the treasure chest right over there. Sign our guest book, take some goodies, and hope to y'all stick around for our potluck.